in a few minutes, please listen to the following announcements. There are exit doors across the stage and one exit each to your left and to your right. Behind the banners, there are bathrooms located at the far end of the hall and to the left-hand side, and they are signed. In case of an emergency, please exit the hall in an orderly manner using these exits. The muster point is located in the car park. We ask that you please keep the aisles clear at all times. This means that guests must remain seated throughout the ceremony to ensure that everyone in the audience can enjoy this special day. Standing at your seats in the aisles to watch the ceremony or take pictures is not permitted. Graduates, there is a professional photographer who will capture the moment your certificate is handed over to you. Please take a moment to pause and smile before exiting the stage, but please do not linger. If you need assistance with seating arrangements or have any questions, please speak to an hostess who will gladly assist you. Graduates, please ensure that you are seated in the correct order and that your robe, hat, and stole are worn as advised. The event is streaming live on YouTube so that family, friends, faculty, partners, prospective students who are unable to attend in person can share in this special day. Please follow us on social media. You can find us by our full name on Facebook and LinkedIn, and that is the Nigerian University of Technology and Management. On Twitter and Instagram, you can follow us at NUTMNG. Our hashtag for today's event is hashtag NSP Graduation 2022. Finally, to avoid distractions, we ask that you please set your phones to silent now. So we'll pause for you to please set your phones to silent. Okay, thank you. Please remain seated as we await the procession. Thank you for your attention and for your help in making this day a safe and memorable one. Okay. We'll prepare for the procession now. We'll take the national anthem now. right, thank you. His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, represented here by the Special Advisor on Innovation and Technology. His Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, represented here by Her Excellency, Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele. Professor Benedict Orama, President AfCFTA Bank, board members, distinguished guests. Thank you and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the NUTM Scholars Program, Class of 2022. We are delighted to host our second graduation ceremony of the NITM Pilot Initiative, the NITM Scholars Program. My name is OG, and I am the Director for the NITM Project Management Office. Today, I will be your Master of Ceremony. As such, I have the honor of introducing today's speakers and guiding you through the day's program. To get us started, I would like to invite the co-founder and chairman of African Capital Alliance, a leading independent investment management firm, sponsoring funds and managing investments across a variety of sectors in sub-Saharan Africa. He has served as the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment in Nigeria from 2015 to 2019. He is a seasoned accountant with experience working with Arthur Andersen in Nigeria and London, as well as Goldman Sachs in New York and London as well. He is a chartered financial analyst, a fellow of the inaugural class of the Africa Leadership Initiative West Africa, a member of the Aspen Global Leadership Network, and holds an MBA from the Harvard Business School, where he was a Baker Scholar. With a resounding round of applause, please join me in welcoming on stage the NUTM Chief Promoter and Chairman of the NUTM Governing Board, Dr. Okechukwu Enelama, to deliver the welcome address.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, represented by Tuboso Alake, the Special Advisor on Technology. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, represented by the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele. Our keynote speaker and graduation speaker for today, Professor Benedict Orama, President of the AfCFTA Bank. Friends, faculty, scholars, staff, colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, members of the press. It is an honor to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the NUTM Scholars Program, Class of 2022. Seeing you all here, I and the Governing Board of NUTM are encouraged that we indeed are on the right path to transforming Africa through STEM and leadership education. The journey here has been fraught with challenges, but over and beyond that has been the blessing of goodwill, support, and collaboration. For that, I would like to thank our faculty and advisors, the mentors, donors, sponsors, and of course our indefatigable staff and team, and most especially the celebrants of today, the scholars, who have invested their time, energy, and talent to identify with the NUTM vision and become our vanguard of transformation of the African continent and our world. Thank you all. Thank you. According to the African Development Bank, Africa remains the world's least industrialized region, and we need to change that. In 2021, about 22 million jobs were lost, and 30 million Africans pushed into extreme poverty due to the pandemic. These outcomes, according to the bank, are likely to continue for the next 2 years. When you layer on top the economic disruptions from the Russia-Ukraine conflict, it is estimated that the number of Africans pushed into extreme poverty could increase by millions in 2022 and 2023. Workers in the informal sector, primarily women and youth, are unfortunately going to be the hardest hit, according to the bank, the African Development Bank. NUTM is on a mission to meet the demand for quality STEM higher education and ensure that our youth are graduating with the skills required by private and public sector employers. Since the pandemic, there has been a significant amount of loss loss of loved ones, loss of free movement, loss of status quo. Whether it is war or geopolitical power struggle or insurgency and tensions in and out of Nigeria, technology and political revolutions, it is imperative that we are all able to respond appropriately to the uncertainties of a dynamic and evolving world. This leads me to the powerful combination of humility and indomitable will that often characterize great leaders. Scholars, over the last 11 months, you have been immersed in several transformative experiences, ranging from a 6-week mentoring program by senior industry leaders to a 9-month entrepreneurship capstone that has resulted in the creation of several businesses, habit courses through Harappa, Foundation of Leadership course with Professor Dwight Jaggard, Group Dynamics and Heart of Leadership course with Professor Kenwin Smith, and other courses around diversity, inclusion, and gender, science and technology for African development, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and more. Congratulations on completing hundreds of hours of rigorous academic and professional training. You have been through one of the finest postgraduate immersion programs in the country, and I dare say in Africa. So what next? This has been your biggest question over the last few months, and rightfully so. The fact that you are sitting here today, a graduate of the NUTM Scholars Program, is a testament of your commitment to personal development and growth. Through our engagement with you and your deep immersion in the NUTM Scholars Program, we are confident of the value that you will bring to any organization, including your own, for those pursuing entrepreneurial endeavors. Therefore, as you embark on this exciting journey ahead, let me share with you 2 short stories. One on the power of vision and desire, and these are personal stories that have worked for me. And then 2, the immense value of collaboration and teamwork. So the first story on power of vision and desire. You know, back several years ago, when I went to business school, I took a course titled Power and Influence. As students in this class, we are required to submit a paper on our vision of what success meant for each and every one of us, each of us. In other words, what would a successful career and life be like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or maybe even 40 years or more down the line? Interestingly, I took this course over 30 years ago. I envisioned becoming a successful investor, investing in Africa. I wanted to be an owner or partner in a firm or business that will invest successfully in Africa. This was my vision back then. I hope that such a business will create enough wealth for me and others to give back to society and make an impact. The course I took and the paper I eventually wrote then guided the opportunities I pursued subsequently, and indeed my response to the opportunities that came my way. This meant that many of the opportunities that people took coming out of business school at the time were not particularly appealing to me. I kept holding out and looking out for the right opportunity. I was in this waiting, or what you might even call searching mode, when I got a call one day. I still remember it was an afternoon. I received a call from an alumnus of the school, Harvard Business School, Thomas Barry. I had been partly recommended to him by the dean and also by another student that graduated a year before I did. This was, of course, the beginning of my journey to becoming a pioneer in private equity, investing in Africa. And this ultimately led to the founding of African Capital Alliance, which I've been involved with for many years now. That takes me to the second story on the immense value of collaboration and teamwork. As part of the ASPIN-sponsored Alewa Fellowship, Alewa stands for African Leadership West Africa Fellowship, which happened about 15 years ago, about 2005, 2006. Each fellow in that fellowship was required to come up with a project that will make a significant impact in our environment. A member of our cohort, not me, came up with the idea that it would be nice to champion a world-class STEM university or set of universities that will impact Africa the way the IIT universities, the India Institute of technology universities have impacted India and the world. At the time, the idea appeared daunting, and no one in the cohort had enough bandwidth to pursue it. Fast forward to my time in government a few years ago, I came across a video that showcased the impact of IIT, India Institute of Technology, on not just India, but on the rest of the world. The question then was, why couldn't we do this for Africa? Or why can't we do this for Africa? In a nutshell, this is what has led to the collaboration and teamwork so far that has produced or established NUTM, and indeed the NUTM Scholars Program, of which we are celebrating our scholars today and our graduates today. We are optimistic that we too can transform Africa and our world through what we're doing here today and through NUTM. So scholars, remember the many things you have learned, how the powerful combination of humility and indomitable will can make you a great leader. Remember the power of vision and desire, which can literally make your dreams come true. Remember the immense value of collaboration and teamwork. As it is often said, that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. In other words, collaborate, work as teams. This has been very true for me and my life journey, and it has been very true of the NUTM story so far. It's a story of collaboration, teamwork, and what happens when people come together with a singular vision and that humility and indomitable will. We celebrate you and your accomplishments today and charge you with taking the NUTM mission and values of excellence, collaboration, integrity, innovation, and sustainability with you everywhere you go. Thank you all for coming, and for those dialing in, thank you for joining us online. Congratulations again, NUTM Scholars, class of 2022. Why don't you clap for them? Congratulations, congratulations. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, and indeed today's graduation and commencement speaker, Professor Benedict O. In fact, I have to say the O in full because it's the same name I have, Okechukwu Orama. Professor Benedict Orama is the president and chairman of the board of directors of African Export-Import Bank, AfCFTA Bank. As the president of AfCFTA Bank, Professor Orama has grown the bank significantly and improved its global appeal and relevance. The bank is playing a key role in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, AfCFTA, which is the most significant trade and development initiative in Africa for decades. In support of AfCFTA, AfCFTA Bank, under the leadership of Professor Orama, championed the creation of very innovative digital platforms that will boost inter-regional trade and investments by revolutionizing cross-border payments and improving access to quality trade information. Professor Orama is one of the 4 principals of the African Union's African Vaccine Acquisition Tax Team, AVATT. And under his leadership, AfCFTA Bank played a pivotal role that made it possible for Africa to procure 400 million doses of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines by providing a $2 billion advanced procurement commitment, APC, guarantee to the vaccine manufacturer on behalf of African countries. As a recognition for his achievements, Professor Orama has received several honors and awards, including being listed in the 100 most influential Africans by the New Africa magazine in 2019, 2020, and again in 2021. He was also listed by Jeune Afrique among the top 100 influential Africans. In 2017, Professor Orama was voted African Banker of the Year by the African Banker magazine. He also received the New York University African Leadership Award in 2018. He sits on the boards of many organizations and also chairs the boards of the Fund for Export Development in Africa, FEDA, and the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, PAPS, or PAPSS. Professor Orama has written over 50 articles and papers, authored books, and contributed chapters in several books. Let me say that personally, Professor Orama has been an inspiration. I worked with him before joining the government and worked with him even more so during my time serving in the Nigerian government. And probably more than anybody else I know, he had the most, I would say, inspiring initiatives in terms of transforming Africa. And I don't think I'm flattering him. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage the commencement speaker for today's graduation ceremony, Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the African Export-Import Bank.
Thank you very much, my namesake Oke, for the very wonderful introduction. And good morning, everybody. The Executive Governor of Lagos State, represented today by the Commissioner for Technology of Lagos State. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, represented today by Her Excellency Nomot Sholako Oyedele, the Deputy Governor. Dr. K. Enalama, the Chair of the Board of Governors of this wonderful university, NUTM, members of the Board of Governors, faculty, the President of NUTM, family, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by congratulating the governing board, management and faculty of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management for the historic graduation ceremony of the second class of NUTM scholars. It is a unique trailblazing event I'm highly honored to be part of. For the first time in Nigeria's academic history, we have a multidisciplinary postgraduate program that is producing job creators and not job seekers. We are producing the best and brightest that can combine skills in technology, management, and entrepreneurial risk-taking to move mountains. It was the American scholar Eric Hoffer who once wrote that those with the skills to move mountains do not need the faith that moves mountains. And today, amidst the uncertainties and self-doubts, amidst the atmosphere of insecurity across Africa, it is refreshing to celebrate the graduation of 60 talented Africans in whom we can reliably place so much hope. When my dear brother and friend, Dr. K. Enalama, invited me to deliver today's commencement address, I was pleasantly overwhelmed by the honor. I was also hesitant, not because I had any doubt as to whether I should accept this singular opportunity, but because I wondered whether I had enough mastery of vocabulary to convey to you, the graduating class, the nature of the challenges you will face as you leave NUTM. I wondered whether I could fill the big shoes left by His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who so eloquently delivered the inaugural commencement address, at which I had the opportunity to read. Some of you may expect me to tell you of the great world ahead of you and why this graduation is a stepping stone into a future laden with golden opportunities, as well as all those wonderful things great orators will say when delivering these kinds of speeches. I admit at the outset that I'm not an orator. Neither do I have a deep proficiency in the English language that will hold you spellbound. One thing I do have, though, is some understanding of a vast, intricate, and rapidly changing world you will be stepping into. It is a world fraught with so many uncertainties that I still wonder whether crystal gazers and fortune tellers are still in business. And I should know, having spent 7 tumultuous years as president of AfCFTA Bank, 7 years with crisis every other year, major global crisis every other year, I should know the challenges that lie ahead of you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the unprecedented turmoil of an unrelenting COVID-19 pandemic, a Ukraine crisis, the looming global economic recession, and an accelerating deglobalization have once again laid bare Africa's helplessness in the global scheme of things. It has become obvious to us that the struggle for economic independence, which was launched some 60 years ago when political independence was delivered, is yet to be won. You will recall that at independence, our leaders, led by Nkrumah, said it was only the beginning, it was a stepping stone to the actual independence, which is economic independence. You are not free, except unless you are able to determine your fate. So I therefore set out today by reminding you, the graduating class, and I speak to you directly, that you graduate at a unique moment in history, because you step into an Africa engaged in an epic struggle to renew itself, to wrest control of the commanding heights of its economy. It is that process that has contributed to so much turmoil, so much uncertainty, and so many disruptions we experience today. I need not remind us that it is in the midst of these disruptions that incumbents disappear and new leaders emerge. It is this state of disruption and change that offers a fertile ground for people of skill and knowledge to excel. Will you be among the new leaders? It is imperative that you understand the importance of the degree you are receiving today, especially in the context of a new world that is emerging and your place in it. As I've done in the past when I spoke to African students around the world, in the US, in the UK, in many countries in Africa, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that a revolution is sweeping across the African continent without bloodshed or conflict. It is peaceful and will fundamentally alter our world, shatter old assumptions, and reshape our lives. It is easy to underestimate, as it is not accompanied by banners or fanfare. The revolutionaries are of a different breed. Instead of being trained in military camps, the freedom fighters for the new battle are being trained in technical schools and universities such as NUTM. Instead of fighting in trenches, this battle will be fought in factory floors and technology incubation centers. Instead of guns, the battle will be fought with ideas, hard work, and investments. While bravery was required for the political struggle, courage is necessary for the economic liberation struggle. Techies are not armed guerrillas. Ideas are not brute force. We represent the potent force and instruments for victory in this new struggle. So today, as you leave this university and pursue your respective endeavors, I would like you to bear these words in mind. Having been trained by this specialized technology and business university, you graduate well prepared to join an array of economic freedom fighters Africa desperately needs. And I say, congratulations. When the founders of this institution and wanted to set up this university, and as you've heard today from the chairperson of the Board of Governors, they knew there were as many as 261 universities in Nigeria, and over 1,225 universities in Africa. They chose to create a model that addresses the unique African economic development challenges, drawing heavily for the success stories around the world, as you've heard today. Dr. Nelma just mentioned how the Indian Institute of Technology system influenced his decision to move towards founding this university. And that was a good motivation. After all, it is graduates of these universities, MIT, California Institute of Technology, and so on, that have created behemoths such as Apple, Google, Microsoft, and others. Institutions and products that have become bigger than most economies around the world. For instance, Apple's market capitalization of $2.5 trillion as of August this year is about the same as the GDP of the entire African continent. And Alphabet, the parent company of Google, has a market capitalization of $1.4 trillion, equivalent to the GDP of about 40 African countries. It is no wonder that when the founders of this university decided to create the university, they chose to focus on technology, management, and entrepreneurship, a trilogy on which modern value creation stands. And as I argued earlier, Africa's struggle for economic independence can only be won on the platform of continuous innovation, inventions, and strong entrepreneurial drive, underpinned by a clarity of vision and courage. I commend the founders of NUTM for the foresight and congratulate the graduates for successfully going through the rigorous academic work, attachments, and mentorships. There is no doubt in my mind that the NUTM experience will birth similar universities which will help us build a solid foundation for the transformation of Africa. I would like to re-emphasize that an appropriate educational system that produces skilled and self-confident people with independent minds is a necessary condition for the pursuit of our economic independence and progress. Otherwise, we will have, as in most cases today, a set of people content with the pursuit of substitutes. And on this, Eric Hoffer, the philosopher, wrote, and I quote, "When people subjected to drastic change find only meager opportunities for action, or when they cannot or are not allowed to attain self-confidence and self-esteem by individual pursuits, the hunger for confidence, for worth, and for balance directs itself toward the attainment of substitutes. And in this searching for substitutes, means trouble. In the chemistry of the soul, a substitute is almost always explosive. If for no other reason than that we can never have enough of that which we really do not want. If you cannot have the originals, we can never have enough of the substitutes, unquote. It is no wonder that violence and insecurity are overwhelming us today. It is no wonder that we find ourselves in the margins of the global economy. When COVID-19 struck, we begged to be supplied face masks, hand sanitizers, test kits, and when the vaccines arrived, we also begged for vaccines. And I know this because I chaired the Africa COVID-19 Response Fund of the African Union. And I knew how we gathered together at the time to see how we can support the continent. We found, to our surprise, that we had little or no capacity to manufacture simple face masks. We had to beg President Ramaphosa, to beg President Xi of China to allocate supplies to Africa. That is not what a people who are responsible, who want to protect themselves, should go through. And we also saw the same with vaccines. We couldn't even produce a single vaccine. When we even had the money to buy the vaccines, it was a struggle to get anybody to sell us vaccines. So we've become a beggar nation, a beggar continent. And when Ukraine crisis came, we also ran begging to be supplied grains and vegetable oil. Yet we have abundant human and natural resources. Why are the abundant human resources not converting the abundant natural resources to produce the wealth we need? Why is it that it is the same resources taken raw from Africa that is enriching others, while we get poorer? I think the simple answer is that the educational system is not structured to produce the quality of human capital we need. It is the universities of the type of NUTM that can turn our human resources into human capital. It is the human capital that counts. And we hope that each and every one of you leaving this university today will constitute the building block of the kind of human capital that will make it possible for us to say, never again to beg when we are desperately in need of protecting ourselves. And it is a lack of universities of the type of NUTM that explains why, although electronic payment originated in Africa through M-Pesa in Kenya, most of the value today is captured elsewhere in the world. If you look at the valuation of fintechs in the world, they run into trillions of dollars today. But what is the valuation of fintechs in Africa, where it all started? And it's because we do not have universities of this type that although Africa produces nearly 80% of global cocoa, it accounts for less than 10% of the $120 billion global cocoa and cocoa products market. It is for the same reason that although we produce about 80% of global cobalt, a battery mineral, Africa accounts for nearly zero of the over $105 billion global market for batteries today. We have not been able, as a people, to create technologies that will help us to add value to our commodities. Your Excellencies, it is issues of this type and their products that can help us to win the economic struggle, create the regional value chains we need, and to find smarter ways of investing in our people. And the evidence is here with us. If the founders of this university did not attend excellent schools, it is doubtful that we'll be here today celebrating these graduates. While we congratulate the leadership of this institution for their foresight, selflessness, ingenuity, we also must remind the graduating class and the students here that whether Africa pulls itself out of its economic situation will depend on how they deploy the privileged talents and knowledge they have acquired from here. We are among the torchbearers with the responsibility of propagating the mission and values of this university. You must also understand that across the world, a school is only as good as what becomes of its alumni. That is to say, the success of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management does not depend on what you accomplish on campus, but on what becomes of you outside the walls of this university. You therefore shoulder the onerous task of lifting high the flag of this university. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, among the issues that confront us today, two of them, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and the climate change, deserve special mention. And I'll crave your indulgence to spend a few minutes to talk about them. The AfCFTA has been ratified by 43 African countries, signed by 54 African countries. Trading has commenced, but negotiation of relevant protocols continues in earnest. The AfCFTA promises to create vast economic opportunities on the continent, with potential to increase Africa's GDP to by about 40%, equivalent to $1 trillion in a few years' time. The AfCFTA is touted as the ultimate means by which Africa can finally achieve the long-aspired industrialization and economic independence. That again, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will depend on the ability of our entrepreneurs to take up these opportunities that will emerge from the AfCFTA. We recognize that signature of the AfCFTA is one thing and implementing it is another. At AfCFTA, we believe that it is technology that will bring down the 110 borders that divide us as in Africa. That is why we have developed the Africa Trade Gateway, a digital ecosystem composed of a number of digital platforms that offer trade-enabling services that will make it easier for young entrepreneurs like you to participate in this new market arrangement. The Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, which has commenced commercial operations, will go a long way in supporting youth businesses across Africa. It will enable Africans to pay for intra-African trade in their local currencies, thereby eliminating the hard currency cost of intra-African trade. It will open access to African markets to young creatives. So it will now be possible for a Liberian to buy Nigerian-made garments by using Liberian dollars to buy Nigerian naira to pay the supplier. AfCFTA is backing this payment system at $500 million at the moment, and with plans to increase that to $3 billion when it goes continent-wide. The Trade and Investment Regulations Platform and Trade Information Portal will facilitate easy access to trade and investment regulations information across Africa. It is most times said that the biggest constraint to intra-African trade is infrastructure. While we agree that infrastructure is a big constraint, we think that the problem of infrastructure is general. It affects all trade. The question is why the stock of infrastructure today carries more than $1 trillion of African trade. And the intra-African trade share of that trade is just $160, $170 billion. Why is it not $500 billion? The problem is that we do not have any information about what is happening across our borders. We've also developed a customer due diligence repository platform a due diligence platform that will facilitate the conduct of Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering due diligence on African entities. This is meant to reduce the compliance costs and restore investor confidence and financial flows into Africa. We have also completed the development of Africa Trade Exchange, which is a B2B and B2G e-commerce platform that supports intra-African trade under negotiated AfCFTA protocols. The Afrexim Bank Customer Application Portal is also available and makes it possible for those who want to access the facilities of the bank to do so online. Afrexim Bank has also created an Africa Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme that facilitates smooth transportation of goods across multiple borders with a single transit bond issued or guaranteed by Afrexim Bank. This bond for the entire continent is also backed by an amount of $1 billion provided by Afrexim Bank. Funding is also available through Afrexim Bank's array of intra-African trade financing facilities. In the 5 years to 2021, Afrexim Bank disbursed over $20 billion in support of intra-African trade. Another $14 billion in disbursements are planned for the next 5 years. We've also introduced an SME program that offers funding, capacity building, and market access opportunities to SMEs. Our fund, the Fund for Export Development in Africa, is also able to support entrepreneurs engaged in sectors that promote trade and innovation. A $50 million venture capital fund is planned to be launched by the end of this year. These are all products and instruments available to you. You can access them by going to our website, www.afreximbank.com, or speaking to some of our colleagues who are here with me. So when you live here, don't think that you live in an Africa that has nothing. Things have changed since the past 15 years. And you can be all you can be if you work hard. Distinguished graduates, another issue that will shape your future is the subject of climate change. Stripped of the noise, I reckon that it provides more of an opportunity than a challenge to you. Again, the opportunity can only arise if you are in control of your mind and have the courage to pursue an approach deliberately chosen by you and not dictated by others. Today, there's a cacophony of voices demanding that Africa decarbonizes. But you can only decarbonize where you have carbonized. The reality is that Africa accounts for just 3 to 4% of global carbon emissions for a population of about 17% of the world's. Africa is a net carbon absorbing, Central Africa is a net carbon absorbing region. Yet, under the pre-Ukraine crisis global financial system, Africa and Central Africa couldn't access funding even for gas-fired power projects. And yet, Africa is badly in need of energy to develop. While adaptation to the devastation caused by climate change that originated elsewhere should be the priority of Africa, there's a strong push on Africa to focus on mitigation. In the circumstance, Afrexim Bank is strongly advocating for an African-led agenda for Africa, built around just transition, using AfCFTA implementation as a mitigation instrument, and exploiting the economic opportunities decarbonization offers. With regard to just transition, Afrexim Bank is working with the African Petroleum Producers Organization to establish an African Energy Transition Bank that We support the continued financing of oil and gas projects for economies that depend on them, and at the same time, working with the same economies to transition to cleaner energy. We expect that this bank will be established by the end of this year. And we're also pursuing mitigation through an AfCFTA-led strategy. And that strategy is centered on promoting regional value chains as a way of reducing emissions from shipping raw materials from Africa to distant markets and re-importing them as finished products. Shipping is the third largest carbon emitter after China and the US. We strongly believe that those who want Africa to decarbonize or contribute to decarbonization should support the implementation of the AfCFTA. We believe it will cut carbon emissions by up to 80% in Africa, while helping Africa to develop. For instance, an amount of $8 to $10 billion is required to fund an AfCFTA adjustment fund to make it easier for countries to transition to zero intra-African trade tariff. While AfReximBank is supporting this particular fund with a $1 billion facility, we are looking to find another $7 to $9 billion. That investment, if made by those who want us to decarbonize, can make a huge impact to the goal of pursuing decarbonization in Africa. And what about exploiting the opportunities decarbonization offers? The bank is helping Zambia and DRC, as the Congo, who control most of the battery minerals today, to build local capacities for the production of battery precursors, batteries, and even electric vehicles. A transboundary industrial park project for the production of batteries and electric vehicles is under development, under an arrangement AfReximBank is implementing with the UNECA. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I bring my speech to a close, I would like to also remind you that AfReximBank is a unique institution that continues to forge constructive partnerships with our academic institutions like NUTM, because we believe that our economic progress depends on continuous learning and innovation. We do not take for granted any opportunity that enables us to deliver on this quest. Under the AfReximBank Academy, the bank is coordinating and sponsoring an undergraduate and postgraduate certification program in trade finance. The program has commenced virtually in East Africa and is expected to be rolled out in West Africa this year. The bank is also working with the AfCFTA Secretariat and a number of universities to create a center for AfCFTA studies that will advance theoretical and empirical knowledge on the implementation of the AfCFTA and also the theory of free trade agreements generally. It will be great to have the NUTM participate in that network. Other initiatives include the bank's annual sabbatical program, which is open to university faculties. We also run academic and policy journals on African trade, trade finance, manufacturing, and related activities. These are intended to ensure that we encourage research and support academics in Africa. And for the graduating class of students, the bank's short-term internship program will provide you with a first-hand understanding of the African trade and trade finance dynamics. We encourage the faculties and qualifying students at NUTM to consider the various opportunities offered through the various learning programs at the bank. We also welcome applications from graduating students to fill various vacancies in the bank. You can go to our website to search. And I've discussed with the Board of Governors today. We'll be making available to NUTM 2 slots for internship at AfCFTA Bank in Cairo. And to the graduating class, again, I say congratulations. The world ahead of you may be challenging, but it's also said that opportunities are the mirror image of challenges. Harnessing them will require patience to wait, even if opportunities tarry. Passion to pursue these opportunities, courage and determination to continue in your quest, even if opportunities are missed countless times. And most of all, trust and respect for others, even if they appear lower in socio-economic standing. And as you leave this university, do so confident that you received the best education and training. Go out to the world and compete fiercely but fairly, wherever you find yourself. Courage, vision, and passion for Africa should be some of the values you must inculcate. Always remember that it is us and not others that will restore the dignity of Africans. Your Excellencies, the Civil Board of Governors, I thank you once again for this opportunity and wish the graduates all the best as you start a new career in your life.
Thank you very much, Professor Orama, for those thought-provoking and optimistic and positive view of Africa. Thank you so much for all the opportunities you've laid before us. Please, we'll just take the opportunity to take 2 photos with Your Excellency and the Special Advisor on Innovation and Technology. All right, Dr. Okay. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Okay, so we'll try and move swiftly along now. The next item on the agenda this morning is the presentation of the NITM Special Recognition Awards. Through these awards, NITM recognizes the efforts of scholars who have excelled in various ways during their time at NITM Scholars Program. To present the awards, I would like to introduce Mr. Ademola Adeyemi-Bello. Mr. Adeyemi-Bello is the Managing Director and CEO of First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company Limited. Prior to embarking on his entrepreneurial journey, Mr. Adeyemi-Bello spent time with the British Gas Exploration and Production Company Nigeria as President and Managing Director. Prior to that, he spent 20 years with Shell, where he occupied several significant roles in several countries. He's a member of the NUTM Board of Trustees. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Adeyemi-Bello to the stage to present the NSP Special Recognition Awards. You need to stand that way. That way. Yes. So stand behind you. Thank you. Okay. So, NITM prides itself as a center for teaching excellence, connecting African youths with best-in-class faculty from around the world. Accordingly, the first special recognition award to be presented today is an award that recognizes the talent of our brightest students who, through their hard work and dedication to their studies during the NSP, raised the bar for their peers by scoring the highest overall cumulative grade point average. for the Award of Academic Excellence on the NUTM Scholars Program, Class of 2022, please welcome on stage none other than Daniel Odediro. Thank you. Thank you. A key component of our curriculum and teaching excellence is our experiential learning module, termed Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Design Lab, shortened to TED Lab. Through the TED Lab, the entrepreneurship capstone, scholars work on real-world problems and create ventures we hope to become unicorns someday. For this year's outstanding TED Lab venture, the award goes to Wadi. I will now invite each member of the Wadi TED Lab team on stage to individually receive their award. Babajide Macaulay. Augustine Noah. Amaka Eze. Amanda Madumere. Tohib Ojuolakpe. The next award is presented to the scholar who went over and beyond in the service of others and the NUTM brand while still performing excellently in their academic performance. The Spirit of NSP Award for the NSP Class of 2022 is presented to Mubarak Abdul Bahnoud. The next and final Special Recognition Award is the Award for All-Round Excellence. This award recognizes and celebrates the scholar who distinguished themselves in academics, social context, self and other forms of leadership. The recipient of this year's All-Round Excellence Award is presented to Taiwo Adebiyi. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeyemi. Congratulations to all the recipients of the NSP 2022 Special Recognition Awards. You worked hard to earn it, and we're proud of all that you have accomplished. It is now time to confer the NSP Postgraduate Certificate in Technology, Entrepreneurship, and Design on the NSP Class of 2022. To do the honors, I would like to invite our beloved Dean of the NITM Scholars Program, Dr. Omobola Johnson. Dr. Johnson is a senior partner at Telecom Capital, a venture capital firm focused on investments in technology-enabled companies in sub-Saharan Africa. Many may remember her as the former Minister of Communication Technology in Nigeria from 2011 to 2015, and the country managing director for Accenture prior to that. Dr. Johnson serves on several boards, including Guinness Nigeria PLC, MTN Nigeria, amongst others. Dr. Johnson is a woman of many firsts and has impacted several sectors ranging from politics, business, not-for-profit organization in and out of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the outstanding Dr. Johnson, Dean of the NITM Scholars Program, to the stage to present the awards. Now, graduates, please come forward when called to be recognized for your great accomplishments. Aliyah Tawasimi. Abdul Samad Balogun. Adewale Babatunde. Al Amin Ishaq. Amaka Eze. Amanda Madumere. Augustine Noah. The next graduate is not physically present as he has gone off to study Ayomide Oshinjo. Babajide Macaulay. Boluwatife Omotayo. Chisom Amadi. Daniel Odediro. Daniel Agada. Dolapo Olayoriju. Eremika Pata Ebere. Fatima Owolabi. Fisayo Yewale. Habib Ahmed. Ijeoma Ejimadu. Itopa Atima. Jacob Abare. Jesse Rugeyo. Joy Ogbona. Lucy Aniagolu. Marvelous Jesutoye. Michael Peters. Michael Afolami. Muro Umubo Olukayode. Mubarak Abdul Hamid. Naftali Akudong. Ofofonono Etuk. Oluchi Anoru. Onyechi Wonko. Osaherume Ofuegbe. Oyinoluwa Adediji. Peter Abosede. Pomile Ogunjemite. Praise Innocent. Purity Okoro. Rachel Magaji. Rukayat Adesoye. Sharon Onwazo. Solomon Elekwa. Stanley Ude. Stephen Oyebode. Sulaimon Badiru. Taiwo Adebi. Tawhid Olayemi. Temidayo Akinyelure. Theophilus Osifo. Theresa Ayadike. Timileyin Idowu. Tobechukwu Oli. Tochi Ebere. Tochukwu Ngbemena. Tohib Ojualakbe. Toluwani Teriba. Tomide Adeoye. Usheninte Dangana. Yunus Ibrahim. Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. Congratulations, class of 2022. Okay, so graduates, please remain seated. May I please ask the rest of the audience to rise? May I please ask the rest of the audience to please rise? Please join me in congratulating these outstanding graduates with a round of applause for a job well done. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Graduates, please rise. Well, okay, thank you. Please, everyone remain seated. Graduates, kindly face your family, friends, and supporters. Now thank them with a big round of applause for their wonderful support these last 11 months. Thank you. Thank you, graduates. You may be seated. Okay. So, representing His Excellency Prince Dakwa Abiodun, MFR, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, it is an honor to introduce the next speaker, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele. Engineer Salako Oyedele is a multi-talented engineer with over 30 years of proven experience in consulting, contracting, and real estate sectors. She has served Ogun State as Chairman, Ogun State Scholarship Board, and Chairman, Ogun State University Teaching Hospital Board of Management. She was Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Vaccine Research Laboratories in Yaba, and Managing Director, Glenwood Property Development Company Limited. Engineer Salako Oyedele holds a master's degree in public health engineering from the Imperial College of Science and Technology, London, a Bachelor of Science degree in civil engineering from the University of Lagos. Please welcome Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State.
The Executive Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Special Advisor on Information and Technology, Mr. Tubosun Alake, the Chairman of the Governing Board of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management, Dr. Okechukwu Ene Lama, and all other members of the faculty of the board, the President of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management, Dr. Babs Omotowa, the keynote speaker, Professor Benedict Orama, the Dean of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management, my dear sister, Dr. Mobola Johnson, all the special awardees of today, the graduates of today, the very proud parents and guardians of today, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here today to represent His Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, who is unavoidably absent at this event. So he called me up yesterday and said, I would have loved to be there, but he has to be attending a program in Abeokuta today, and I'm here in his stead. We thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this event today. His Excellency commends the visionaries who conceived the idea of this university, and especially this scholars program within the products that the university offers. He also congratulates the class of 2022 on their graduation. One of the basic facts about our nation, Nigeria, as has been stated also by the keynote speaker, is the abundance of human resources and also natural resources. This means that we have what is needed to be among the greatest nations in the world. However, we have seen that this does not necessarily translate to greatness or to wealth, if not well harnessed. Nations can only be great if the people have the right education and the right guidance and the leadership to positively harness the available resources for its development. And this is where we have the place of education and the curriculum that is being offered to our youth. Mentoring also plays a pivotal role. And as you have seen, these are the core values that the Nigerian University of Technology and Management, NUTM, have brought into the Nigerian education space since its establishment in 2019. Well, let me also note that I'm not surprised with the achievement of this university, considering the pedigree of the founder, Dr. Okechukwu Ene Lama, and the team of academic and non-academic staff at the university. On behalf of the government and entire people of Ogun State, I congratulate the Nigerian University of Technology and Management on this graduation of the second cohorts of the flagship program, the Scholars Program. No doubt, this program continues to produce and will have produced another set of eagles who we expect to soar above the storm of the economy and the Nigerian space. At this stage of our national development, these are the kinds of brains that we need. Our development requires not just people who will think outside the box, like we all say, but people who actually don't need the box at all. That is a sure way of making sure that Nigeria is greater and ensure our competitive edge on the global space. I congratulate today's graduates on the successful completion of their scholars program. You must appreciate the fact that this is a special program, different from the normal academic routine. You're being prepared as the next set of captains of industry and leaders of this country, who will steer the ship of this country and direct the course of our government. As you go out there, you must understand that this program places on your shoulder a greater responsibility towards the development of Nigeria, in particular, Africa itself and humanity in general. For us in Ogun State, we appreciate the import of education with the right curriculum to the continued development of our state and its increasing prosperity. And that is why we have made education a core pillar in our Building Our Future Together agenda. Our approach is multidimensional. We continue to develop infrastructure. We also prioritize training and retraining of teachers and non-teaching staff. And we have modified and updated the curriculum to meet present and changing needs. The results have been heartwarming, and several of our students continue to win laurels both at national and international competitions. Our educational institutions also win awards in different categories. In fact, His Excellency, the Governor, won the Most Education-Friendly Governor Award by the Association of Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools recently, and by the PTA Association as well, as an acknowledgement of these changes and modifications that we're putting in place. For us, we appreciate that these achievements on their own call for higher responsibility, and we also know that we do not have the funds or the wherewithal to achieve all we want. And we continue to call on private sector people to join us as co-enablers of our development agenda and a public-private partnership agreement. Let me therefore use this opportunity to call for collaboration between NUTM and our various educational institutions in Ogun State to see how we can work together and improve the education that we deliver to our citizens. Ogun State is not just the education capital of Nigeria. We are worthy inheritors of a proud legacy in education. I will welcome partnerships also from individuals who will impact positively in that sector as well as other ones. On a personal note, 35 years ago, almost to this day, I graduated from the University of Lagos as an engineer. So I was a STEM student: science, technology, education, math. However, I look enviously at the graduates of today that we were ill-prepared to go into the world of entrepreneurship, leadership, and politics. We were brilliant engineers, but I'm sure that the skills that the graduates of today have learned would make it easier for them to transfer and to move into the big, wide and wild world that we live in and excel in all that they do. The recent voter registration exercise has shown us that we had about 71% of the new voters were in the age bracket of 18 to 35, which our graduates are. So we can see that they are our future. They are future voters, they are future leaders, and they're the ones that will shape the destiny of this country. So I'm very happy to see these 60 brilliant men and women, also very happy with that. Because when in my Unilag class, there were 83 men and 5 women. So you can imagine that we've come a long way in that aspect as well. And I'm very happy to see them having gone through this rigorous program and know that we will start to feel the impact of what they can do with the opportunities that have been highlighted to them by our keynote speaker, and know that the future is bright for us in this country with the opportunities that they have been given. So once again, on behalf of His Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, I congratulate the Board of Trustees, the management, and the students of NUTM on this graduation of the second graduation of the Scholars Program, and I wish everyone all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for those very, very invigorating words. The next speaker, representing His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, is a Special Advisor on Innovation and Technology, Mr. Tubosun Alake. Mr. Alake serves on the board of the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council and has served as General Manager for Information and Technology for renowned entertainment companies, including Film One Entertainment and Film House Cinemas. Mr. Alake is dedicated to building a problem-solving environment through innovation and is an ardent supporter of the NUTM vision. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Tubosin Alake, Special Advisor on Innovation and Technology, to the stage.
Good morning. The Governor of Ogun State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Idele, the Chairman, Governing Board, NUTM, Dr. Kechuku Enelama, the entire Governing Board of NUTM, the keynote speaker, the President. Please allow me to stand on all established protocol. Graduates, I bring you greetings from the Governor. He wanted to be here today, but due to the exigencies of time, some appointments for our future must be kept. And so he would like to send a warm and well-deserved congratulations to the NUTM Scholar Class of 2022. It's no mean feat that in a challenging environment such as ours, the founders of NUTM strove for excellence in envisioning an institution where excellence is at its core curriculum. If we were to visualize in Lagos State a future citadel where model citizens were trained to be value contributors to society, NUTM would pretty much be right up there in our vision board. The infusion of STEM into every learning schema is testament to the earth-shattering changes technology has had in our society. Scholars, your enrollment and subsequently your graduation today is coming at an opportune time. And as they say, timing is everything. There's a short example I wanted to give. In the 1880s, there was a conference of intellectuals in New York City. Scholars came, professors, all kinds of the intelligentsia of the society at the time. And they decided to project and try and figure out what New York City would be like in 100 years. And the conclusion that they came to was that New York City, in approximately 100 years, would be absolutely unlivable. Now, why is that? Because as you know, at the time, the primary mode of transportation was horse-drawn carriages, right? And because of horse-drawn carriages, New York City had a huge sanitation problem. Because if you use horses a lot, they are going to excrete everywhere. And so, every other home that had a horse had to deal with manure from horses. And so they saw the growth of the economy at the time, and that increasingly people were going to own that mode of transportation, horse-drawn carriages. And they thought that with the amount of people moving into New York, emigrating into New York, with the amount of people growing their businesses, with the amount of transportation that was required for goods and services, New York would be absolutely an unlivable place. However, what they didn't envisage was that in a corner, Carl Benz was developing the internal combustion engine. While he was developing that, Henry Ford was perfecting it and coming up with a management schema that we all study in business schools today, the assembly line. And so, what is the point of that story? Technology, entrepreneurship, management. It can change projections. And so the question for the graduates today is that which projections that Nigeria has today will you change? What are you going to turn around? And so, like they say again, timing is everything. And so, graduates, we are extremely enthused about your accomplishments today. You know, now I must inform these students that there will be challenges, right? But remember that the purpose of your being at NUTM was to understand that excellence is not the absence of problems, but however, is the distinction to interpret challenges and inconveniences in its proper context. It is the fortitude to create value from that context in a distinguished fashion. Mantras like tenacity, resilience, excellence, bravery have become quite trite and cliched in our modern lexicon today. But we are proud that NUTM is dogged about making sure that these laudatory words are not in short supply, and that our young people are apt and ready for whatever tomorrow may bring them. Scholars, you have the hope of an entire generation resting upon you. No pressure, by the way. Understand who you are. If there's any message that I will send to you today, understand who you are. Be cautious and be bold. Be steadfast and be kind. Be confident, but be humble. Be aware, at the same time, be tunnel-visioned. Be open, but stable in your godly convictions. To this graduating class, we wish you strength for what lies ahead of you. We wish you well in every worthwhile endeavor. We pray for God's blessings upon you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lake. And may I say amen? Okay. Well, we're slowly moving to the end now. Our next speaker is a multi-talented creative who inspires me to work hard towards a goal. We're incredibly proud of this young man. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me with a resounding round of applause to welcome the winner of the NSP 2002 Academic Excellence Award and class valedictorian to give his remarks.
I have butterflies in my tummy. All right, so good afternoon to all dignitaries. Good afternoon to the NUTM governing board. Good afternoon to the management staff, friends, and family present here today. But more importantly, good afternoon to my fellow graduating scholars. Now, when I was told that I had emerged the valedictorian of the NSP 2021-2022 cohort last Friday, I struggled with processing and coming to terms with the realization of my situation. Now, I had mixed feelings. I was super excited, but at the same time, that stupid thing called imposter syndrome just kept pinching at me for 1 week straight. I kept asking myself so many what-ifs. But today, dear scholars, we are not doing that here. Right? We are throwing away any form of imposter syndrome and unnecessary humility. We came, we saw, and we have conquered. We have worked extremely hard for 11 months. 11 months of assignments, of sleepless nights, research, and term papers, presentations, boot camps, and group works. Right? We have been outstanding and extremely resourceful, and we deserve to be celebrated. So, So ensure you accept all form of praises you get today because you have been nothing short of excellence. You deserve it. Now, that being said, I accept with my full chest, right, the right to be called the best of the best of the best, right? I am very proud to stand before you today to give this speech as the valedictorian of the second cohort of NUTM Scholars Program. I actually worked very hard for it, and I deserve it. Right? On behalf of my cohorts, we would like to thank all the people who have made NSP excellent, right, to the governing board for the wisdom and vision to empower the next generation of African change makers and leaders. We thank you. On to the management staff for the sleepless hours spent planning our lives and activities, for going above and beyond to make sure that we have an incredible time, and for opening up so much of yourself to us. We saw all of those efforts and we say thank you to you. To our global faculty for spending time with us and sharing your knowledge, connections, and word of encouragement so that we would have everything we need to change Africa, we thank you. To guest speakers for the abundance of experience you imparted, which changed the course of my life and the lives of my colleagues, we say thank you. To each member of each family, your immense support and sacrifice, especially psychologically and financially, are what has gotten us here. We thank you and we love you. Now, dear NSP class of 2022, typically, according to our social studies teacher, a family is defined as a group of people related by blood, marriage, or adoption. But I'm seeing now that we have to change that definition because how do I explain that I've been able to make 59 new people as my family? Right, we have spent the last 10 months together and it has truly been life-changing. I have experienced a lot of mindset shifts. Academically, right, I would usually be the smartest and most versatile person in a room. So a lot of times I would have to tone down or look small to accommodate other people. But with you guys, right, the one place I have found the highest IQ per square meter, I have never had to do that. In fact, when you meet the Sambokante founding fathers, or people like Peter and Sharon, you might even feel small. I have also experienced a mindset shift financially. The other day I heard Steven saying that he couldn't take less than 500K as salary because of how good he was, right? That day I spent the night thinking about my life and strategizing how to upgrade myself in addition to the training from the university. I'm proud to say that today I earn about 500,000 and I fully understand what he meant. Physically, I came to the program weighing 64 kg. My family will call me Fat Frog. I wonder what they will call me now because I currently weigh 79 kg. So maybe they will call me Fat Toad. Right? NUTM truly took care of us. Right? If you agree, say amen. Now, I used to take pride in the fact that I had a very high emotional quotient, but all of that went in the mud when I had to relate with 59 other persons for 305 days. Socially and emotionally, I have grown and improved empathetically with a heightened sense of collaboration. Thank you guys for all of the lessons. Now, I've always wanted to address our class and many of the issues we have faced collectively, and luckily I'll be doing that today. After critical reflection on our entire time together, I have a few learnings I would like to share with you. The first is the importance of excellence, commitment, consistency, and accountability. I am living proof of the efficacy of these values. A month into our program, I was with Timmy, Chisom, Yunus, and a couple of other scholars, and we took turns answering what we wanted at the end of this program. My only reply was to be the valedictorian of our cohort. 9 months later, I did it. Always set great goals for yourself, right? And do whatever you have to achieve those set goals. Keep at it even when no one is watching you and there are no direct visible results. Always have someone to report to. In my case, I was accountable to Fisayo, who would encourage me to be the best during down times. The second thing is the importance of people. Now, this is very big for me. Never abandon your personal relationship with spouses, family, and friends simply because of the goals you have set for yourself. Never look down on anyone. You never know who could be helping or be a helping hand tomorrow. We have seen this happen many times during our time together. Remember the popular African adage that says that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. right? Go with a community. Today, pick up hoes and shovels to bury imposter syndrome. Right, many of us came in here wondering if we're good enough. I stand here to assure you that you are good enough. And even better, and you deserve all of the best things. I struggled with this when I was told I was the best graduating student. I kept asking, what of this person, what of that person? But guess what I realized eventually? I worked hard for it, and I too deserve it. So please, don't be unnecessarily humble. Today, I'm moving forward. In Mrs. I's voice, brag safely. Never be shy of those big dreams you have. Lastly, worrying about the future is a natural companion, as many things won't go our way. But if you could spin up slides in a few minutes for presentations under immense pressure and still present beautifully, right, then there is no life challenge that we can't overcome together. If it is out of your control, let it be, and focus on those things you can handle. Finally, I would say, find balance in all that you do. As my father would say, work hard, play harder, and keep straight. Ensure you live your best life. You only live once. I am living proof that you can have so much fun, still graduating the best. Now, Africa is at a very important point in history. And if you're observant, you can tell that change is happening all over the continent. And this is powered by young leaders like ourselves. NUTM, through the Scholars Program, has equipped us with knowledge, resources, and network to be at the forefront, leading the change happening across the continent. The diverse courses and faculty we have been able to go through has given us global perspective and insights into areas that require our scientific, entrepreneurial, technological, political, economic, and managerial expertise. So therefore, NSP 2022 scholars, let's go forth and effect change across the African continent, starting with our communities. Be it as young corporate leaders, politicians, entrepreneurs, or academicians. Irrespective of our chosen paths, I look forward to hearing about the amazing projects done in Africa by scholars for Africans. I conclude by giving special shout-outs to my TED Lab members. So Chisung, Pambili, and AY, I love you all. This win is for us. I am giving a special shout-out to everyone who I've worked in a group with, right, which will literally be all scholars seated here today. I see this as a collective win for all of us, and I am standing here simply because we all delivered excellently. Now, they will say that beside every successful man is a strong woman, right? And I'm saying a very big thank you to Oluwafisayomi Oyewale for being my strength and my support. Thank you so much, and this is a big win for us. And finally, I'll be saying thank you, the biggest thank you to my parents, right? Particularly my mom. Baby girl, right? God bless you for all you have done for us, right? Thank you for the loans and endless sacrifices to get my 6 siblings and I to where we are today. As everyone here celebrates me today, they directly celebrate you. And I love you and thank you for everything you have done. May we all meet again. I love you all. Congratulations to the graduating NSP scholars. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and congratulations again. So as we slowly bring this graduation ceremony to a close, I'm delighted to introduce the next speaker, Dr. Babs Omotowa. Dr. Omotowa is a recognized global leader who has held top positions in major multinational corporations across UK, the Netherlands, Norway, and Nigeria. He has led one of sub-Saharan Africa's most successful enterprises, the Nigerian LNG Limited, as well as held the position of Global Upstream Vice President at Shell's head office. Dr. Omotowa is also a first-time author, and his book, From Storeroom to Boardroom, is currently Amazon's bestseller in the business leadership category and winner of the British Book Awards. In April of this year, Dr. Omotowa joined NUTM as its founding president, and it is my distinct honor to welcome him on stage to give the closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please permit me also to stand on the existing protocol. On behalf of the chairman and the members of the board of the Nigerian University of Technology and Management, I want to thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Engineer Mrs. Noimot Salako Oyedele. I think your presence here today demonstrates your continued encouragement of the progress of this university, and your kind words to the university and the students are greatly appreciated. I also want to thank especially the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Special Assistant, Mr. Tubosun Alake. Thank you very much. You have been a strong supporter of the university for a while, and we appreciate you for your presence here today, and also for all that you have been doing to support the university over the years. Thank you very much. It's indeed a great honor to be able to appreciate our esteemed special guest and the commencement speaker, the president of the AfCFTA Bank, Professor Benedict Orama, for coming all the way to deliver such an outstanding, impactful commencement speech. I have listened to several commencement speeches in my life, and this was amongst the best that I have ever heard. You were clear. You were quite clear, not just for the students alone, but for everyone that listens, of some of the major challenges that are coming in the future. And you provide clear opportunities that our students and our graduates of today can tap into. I took a few words from your speech. Some of them I think I will repeat. The students, you are now going to become African freedom fighters. And the fight is not about guns or guerrilla warfare, it's about ideas. So it's about the battle of ideas, as Professor Orama shared with us. It's not about human resources, but about human capacity. And the challenges and opportunities of the African Continental Free Trade Area and climate change were highly enumerated by Professor Orama. So I think you should count yourself lucky, graduates, that you were able to listen to such a speech. I hope you will make use of it. As you heard from Professor Orama, some of the biggest organizations in the world in terms of valuation, like Apple, like Facebook, actually have valuations much larger than countries or even the whole continent. I hope that some of you, if not all of you, will be the next developer of similar opportunities like Apple, Facebook, Toyota, and the rest. So thank you very, very much, Professor Orama, for sharing with us your thoughts. I also want to say a big thank you to our partners and donors, many of who are here with us today. Your support has been invaluable in various ways to enable us make the impact that we are making. And we will continue to appreciate your generosity, as we have a long way to go. And we know that if we go along with you, we will definitely go far. So thank you very, very much. I also join in thanking the parents and guardians of our students for the sacrifices they have made over the years. Your effort has seen the students reach great heights, and you should be very proud of the milestones that they have achieved. I cannot forget to thank the staff and volunteers who have worked extremely hard over the past week to organize the ceremony today. They have put in endless hours and sometimes sleepless hours to achieve what they have achieved. So thank you very, very much to all of you. Finally, to the graduates, I say congratulations. We are very confident that you have been enabled stronger to contribute to the transformation of this continent. And we look forward to you to continue to make us proud and wish you Godspeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Motowa. So ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated and quiet for the music intermission. Danny Hames and Ige to the stage, please.
it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be your prayer. When shadows fill our days,
lead us to a place.
Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e di speranza. Oh, gloria, mano a sua vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hoping so we'll find another soul to love. Let this be your prayer. Let this be your prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. And our Valedictory, high actions are Lord. Sento che ci
Quando sogno l'orizzonte mancan le parole. Sì, lo so che lo cielo la stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre mostra tutto il mio cuore che è acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai contato per strada. Tu sei con me. Hai
Thank you very much, Danny Hims and Ige. So we have now come to the end of today's ceremony. Thank you very much for your patience, for your attention, and for working with us. It's now time for the procession, so we will please start with Your Excellency, please, and the Special Advisor on Innovation and Technology, and allow you to please exit, followed by Professor Orama, please, and then